applying thermal paste to the CPU. Gotta remove the water block of my water block heatsink of my cooling system. So here it is. Let's see if I can remove it carefully. What I know is I already checked it for leaks. So far, so good. So this is a bike ski. So you gotta be careful with removing these screw knobs. As you can see, they have these springs. Springs and small plastic washers. I gotta be careful. My voice isn't also that as good as usual, since it's just been an hour since I woke up. It's also been 1.5 months. This thing hasn't been rebuilt. Really annoys me. Just heard the back plate come off. See if we can remove this thing safely. Gentle twisting. Gentle twisting up. Yeah, that's getting dried up, definitely. Put it under a cloth so it doesn't get scratched. Just got my isopropyl alcohol, putting it in a microfiber cloth, and hopefully getting all the excess from the edges so I can start to clean off the main CPU core. Not sure if the GoPro's picking it up. Switch to a different area. Do the process again. Oh, don't worry. Isopropyl alcohol is safe for motherboards. As long as you get this stuff out. Also cleans faster than a paper towel. Next area again. Usually, with hard angles like these, you can actually just pretty much rotate your PC case. Just showing you people how I clean off the edges like that. See? New space again. Got some paste on my fingers. Don't worry, that'll come off after a few doses of isopropyl alcohol. We want to get this CPU really, really clean. If you're having doubts, you can actually remove the CPU. Just be mindful how it's being placed. You don't have to can do this gently. You don't want the fibers of the microfiber cloth snagging onto the CPU pins. See? Oh, sorry. See? It's okay if there's it's okay if there's excess like this. Now if you can see that there's still some leftover residue. Doesn't matter much, but you know, let's try to get most of them off. Still avoiding the CPU pins. So they don't get bent in any way. Normally, this is the easy part. However, it's also some of the riskiest. It's easy to clean. It's also one of the riskiest. You have to make sure that everything is clean, not undamaged, or the pins aren't bent. You also have to put it back. So, as you can see, so no damage to the CPU pins, so we can put it back. Just have to remember how we put it back. Let me clean off the attachment board for a bit. Make sure you wipe away from the CPU pin sockets. Now for this ASRock, as you can see, there's a little marker over here which matches the golden corner. So that's where we're gonna start. Also, minor detail is this little square rectangle sticking out in a pattern. So following this corner, following that shape, Just have to not drop it down. Place it gently. Feeling around. There we go. Dropped into place. Now we lock it in. There we go. Off to this heatsink block. Gonna put it so like here. Maybe I need to adjust my camera a bit. Hands are still full of gotta remove that. Keep the gunk all on one side. Well, one side of the towel. Mm. Hold on. Hold on for a bit. Let me inhale a vape and take a sip of coffee. Okay, so back normally for this, as you can see. Oh, thank goodness it's watertight. Okay, let me clean it out again. Switch to a different area of the cloth, as you can see. Oh, if anybody wonders, you can actually clean after cleaning everything, the thermal paste residue of the cloth. The cloth you can actually not really rinse off, but you can bathe it in detergent with water for about a day, so the remaining thermal paste that's stuck onto the microfiber cloth gets removed. Can you hear that? Yeah. Okay, back again. we want this to be somewhat as reflective as glass, as less stains as possible. Well, on the contact area at least. Dry it up gently. Start from the edges. Work your way to the center. Oh, thank God it warped. Thank God. Thank God the reflection warped. I'm not planning on doing any face reveals for the time being. So at least you can see the chest cam. See how reflective that is. Okay. So that's done. Next thing we need to do is apply thermal paste. Put this thing back together. Now, normally, the P method would be ideal. However, since we're dealing with a since we're dealing with a really large thermal heat sink, I'd suggest we use something like uh, call this spatula, so you can spread the thermal paste evenly onto the CPU core. Get a get as much thermal paste and CPU and heatsink contact as much as possible. Maybe I should adjust my camera again. Oh, I'm not using the, how do you call this? The normal GoPro thumb screws. I'm actually using a screw with an Allen key bit to it. Also, I'm gonna be using this, which is Arctic MX6. Not sponsored, but I already know the capability of this thermal paste. Also, you can follow the bead method, no problem. Bead method, but you need to spread it out evenly. So we'll apply it in the center. P method. Get all that residue in there. Wouldn't close it for a bit since it doesn't. Thermal paste isn't gonna evaporate that easy. And we spread it like butter. Don't worry about it being uneven for the meantime. We can always get to it later. For now, we want to cover all of the surface of the CPU core. Hopefully I don't get into any weird angles. So there. So from this point, can just apply directly to the spatula. Spread it as evenly as possible. Don't worry about the thermal paste overlapping. So as long as you can get in there. Evenly as possible. Might have to do some weird angle here. And also, fail safe is since when the heatsink, and the core, the thermal paste smoosh together. It's gonna hopefully, actually it does. It's gonna form a even layer. So the needed trick here is to spread it as evenly as possible. Not necessarily a thin coat. Something you know that when you spread on the thermal paste, it's gonna look evenly spread. At this point, I'm only using the weight of the spatula. Just letting it graze on the thermal paste coating. Don't worry about that much excess. It's not gonna hit the chip as long as you get most of the surface. That spread evenly again. Got a weird angle. One last. Only use the weight of the spatula. Spread it like butter. Try to get an even coat. See? Try to get off all the excess. angle. So my dexterity is a bit shot. And hopefully we have it. Gonna rest it there for the meantime. Gonna line this shit up. Being said, this heat sink needs to be in a safe place. Don't copy what I'm doing right now. However, I'm carefully letting the CPU tower stand. See if I can get the plate back. Got the plate back, adjusting camera angle. We can attach this heatsink plate again. Now, that being said, for attaching the CPU plate, you need to make sure that you have space to snake your arm through the back and hold the mounting plate while also holding the heatsink while also mounting one of the screws. I suggest you always start with the top. So let's try it in one go. As you can see, I'm lining it up like so. Actually, you know what? I think this really needs to be laid down just for safety purposes, and my cat just intruded on my computer room again. Let me shoo her for a bit. So apparently my cat doesn't want to leave. She wants to look at me tinkering around with all this PC stuff. Hope she can behave. Otherwise, I'm kicking her out of the room. You might suddenly hear me shouting her name, just picking her up and throwing her out of the room. She can take a beating. No, she's still my cat. She can be a real handful sometimes. Anyway, let's get back to this. First off, you gotta put the main components in a safe place / position. Thermal paste is still wet. What we have to do here is we have to lie this down in a safe enough position, but these fucking wires, I swear, aren't helping. So from this point on, need to keep everything ready at a moment's notice. Hopefully my cat doesn't see the dangling wires as toys. That would really piss me off. Okay, lining up the back plate. Put in the heatsink slowly, gently, carefully. Line them up. Already felt the contact. As I said, always start with the top. Sure if I got it. Arm's starting to get tired. Still half pissed. Though with this, you really need to control your emotions. As long as you got 2 out of these 5 fucking screws done, you can line them up later. Okay, so that's done. All you have to do is evenly tighten down the screws in an X pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we start up with this. Quarter turns. 3, 4. If you feel that something's wrong with the thread, you can always remove it, find the thread again, and thread it back. That's what the plastic washers are for. 1, 2, 3. Mm, mm. The trick here for thumb screws is you only need to use your fingertip strength to know if the thing is seated and bolted down properly. See, I'm only using my fingertips. And that's done. busted out the two radiators that I first used. So one is a 120, the other is a 240. Also, I'll be trying to edit the major portion of this video and see if I can speed it up so I can shorten the video but still show the process. Something's not working out right here. I don't remember this screw being bent. I don't remember starting to get exasperated. Shouldn't really be this hard, motherfucker. I am starting to get really pissed and want to throw things. How the fuck do you people, how the fuck do you technicians even do this? I really don't remember it being this fumbly. Other fucking computer. Starting to get pissed. Really starting to get pissed. Decided to attach the two bottom radiators first, so the long 360 top radiator has support when I try and mount it. You'll see when you'll get my logic when I attach it. Anyway, for now, the second bottom fan, as you can see, the first one is already attached with much difficulty. Definitely, this second lower one would be way harder. second one, this last one is gonna be installed like this. As you can see, I put the second one like that. It's going to support, yeah, it's going to support the radiator just in case I fumble. Hopefully not. Hmm. Idea is there, but unfortunately, forgot. Still had to install the fans on these fuckers. Back at it again. Gonna be changing the screws on the bottom bottom 240 radiator. Wasted so much time. I swear to God. Really pisses me off. Anyway, that being said, need to change out all these screws and put them with washers. Also having coughs here and there because I am really, really stressed. Imagine life getting in the way of me rebuilding this damn thing. Swear to God. Honestly, it really pisses me off sometimes. Someone's gotta do it because nobody in this house actually deals with this kind of technology. Swear to God, most of these people are so backwards. Could even say I'm blessed to be in a spot where I'm the only one who knows this kind of tech. Fortunately, it's also a curse since I'm the only one who can repair this tech every single time. Isn't a service center anywhere in a 4 kilometer radius. Should always remember for this Montec Sky 2, the screws on the back here require a washer, not just to be screwed in as is. So I gotta replace all 8 screws and put them with washers. Transfer these tapered Phillips ones to the front, or the fans actually, where it's really needed for the uh, front rear facing fans. So I can get a push pull motion going on in here. So airflow would be like it's gonna be drawn from the back of the case, from the lower sides of the case, and from the top going to the center, then going out. Usually I'm gonna be doing this long form videos. It's what I've noticed in other PC building and other videos and social media. Attention spans of people are really, really short. And that's what the market caters to. Unfortunately, for things like this, you really need to have a long attention span. You could even say that I'm holding my ADHD at bay, but considering this is a PC, this is pretty much an ADHD magnet. I'm all over the place with this build. However, there is always a method to this madness. I always want the final product to be looking as clean as possible. I want it to be 100% functional and not only just for style, which most people tend to do. Also, since I'm not in the northern hemisphere where most of the PC builds are all air cooled. Actually live in a tropical country, so you can expect volatile volatile heat ranges, aside from the fact that water cooling is really the one that's supposed to be needed in this kind of country. It's the only thing that can keep up with people from the northern hemisphere, since you don't have much problems with cooling issues over there. Since people just have to open the window, whereas people like me need to have cooling systems like these instead of turning on the AC. Actually, it's even counterproductive to turn on the AC just to cool down the computer. I'm gonna be saving a few bucks on electricity. At least do it right. Also, social media has this penchant for, you say, showing more bullshit in the algorithm aside, and not the truthful content. Can blame that on marketing. No, it's with people like me in these kinds of videos where I get to show you how long and tedious and mind how you need to rack your brain how to do things, these kinds of PC builds. I believe where I live, within a 10-kilometer radius, I am the only guy. I'm not confident to say that I am the only person here with a custom water PC build, since I know some of the neighbors here have a computer with an AIO, but for individual radiators like these, a reservoir, separate pump. So yeah, can pretty much say I'm the only one I know within this area where I'm the one with the PC with a custom loop. You really need that to be sturdy as fuck. Anyway, we're getting there. Definitely getting there. Also, if you were wondering, I'm not using the 360 mic of my GoPro Media Mod. Actually, um, how do I say this? Furnished myself a microphone headset for which the DJI Mic Mini sits. Put it on noise cancellation so you can hear my voice better, even if I'm soft spoken. Not even the neighbors can hear my voice from this distance, even if the houses are really close between each other. And for now, he's using his aircon in his bedroom. So I'm technically not disturbing anybody. I also don't need the I also don't need soundproofing on my walls. But I think it would be still nice to have soundproofing on your walls. However, you won't be able to hear the out you won't be able to hear the outside very much, since I'm the only one here with capability of handling this kind of technology, aside from being the only one in my age range, only one who can operate operate a truck, a car, a van, and the motorcycle. Sometimes I don't know, this society where I live in is so backwards. So backwards. Okay, so I think I'll cut it here. Try to figure out how to refit this. Uh, wait, this 240 radiator first, then refitting this 360 radiator.